On this slide, we will combine our introduction and current situation. First, the context. Strategy today is shaped by economic turbulence, rapid tech disruption, intense rivalry, and much higher expectations for governance and sustainability. And retail feels this more because margins are thin. That's why we run a strategic audit. We don't treat strategy as a static plan. We treat it as ongoing fit between what the company can do and what the environment demands. So our audit checks whether Mr. DIY's strategy still fits the environment, whether its capabilities are still relevant, and whether execution matches intent. Now, the current situation. By 2024, Mr. DIY has over 1,400 outlets across Mr. DIY, Mr. Dollar, and Mr. Toy, anchored by the always low prices model. What makes it defensible is the operating system behind it: standardized stores, centralized procurement, efficient logistics, and high inventory turnover. Each outlet carries around 18,000 to 20,000 SKUs, reinforcing one-stop convenience. Execution is supported by a hub and spoke distribution approach, an omni-channel direction, and a workforce of over 16,000 people. Financially, the group showed resilience, with revenue growing from RM 3.99 billion in 2022 to RM 4.65 billion in 2024, and a net profit rising to 510 million ringgit Malaysia. But the pressures are rising too: cost inflation, saturation in urban markets, digital and cybersecurity risks, ESG expectations, and people complexity. So the main takeaway is Mr. DIY is strong, but sustaining advantage now depends on continuously sharpening the model and staying aligned as the environment changes.
Moving on to the corporate governance, now let's talk about how Mr. DIY is managed. We have a very balanced board of 6 members. Four of them are independent directors, which is 67% of the board. This ensures that the company's decisions are objectively monitored and transparent. Leading the team is our chairman, Datuk Azlam Shah, and our CEO, Ong Chu Jin Adrian. We also have strong female leadership with Eng Ing Peng and Datuk Hamidah chairing our most critical committees, audit and risk and nomination. In fact, we have achieved 50% female representation on the board, which is well above the national average. Over the last 3 years, we have matched from basic compliance to being listed on the FTSE for Good Index. However, we noticed a gap in digital expertise. Our key recommendation is to appoint a director with a digital transformation background. This will help us stay ahead of cybersecurity threats and the new complex rules of carbon reporting.
In this section, I analyze Mr. DIY external environment using two frameworks. PESTEL is used to evaluate the macro-level political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors, while PORTES is 5 forces examining industry-level competition. This focus is on how these forces affect Mr. DIY cost leadership, strategy, and margin sustainability. From a PESTEL perspective, economic conditions such as inflation create both opportunities and threat as consumer trade down to value retailers while procurement and logistic costs increase. For social trends support demand for convenience, one-stop shopping technologically, digitalization and omni-channel system, improve efficiency but introduce cybersecurity and investment risks. For the environmental and legal factors, including energy use and labor regulation, increase compliance pressure but also allow sustainability initiatives to strengthen legitimacy and reduce long-term cost. Looking at industry competition through Porter's 5 forces, rivalry is high due to intense price-based competition and limited differentiation. Buyer power is also high because switching costs are low. The threat of substitute from e-commerce is moderate, while new entrants face barriers from Mr. DIY scale and logistic network. Supplier power remains low to moderate due to the company's large purchasing volume, but the influence by important and currency exposure.
Now, I will be presenting internal environment analysis of Mr. DIY Group. The internal environment focuses on what happened inside the organization, including its resources, capabilities, structure, culture, and system. For Mr. DIY, this is especially important because this company operates in a low margin, high volume retail model where efficiency and execution discipline determine success. First, we look at Mr. DIY's strength. The company's strongest advantage is the cost leadership strategy. Mr. DIY delivers always low price through standardized stock formats, centralized procurement, efficient logistics, and high inventory turnover. This creates a tightly aligned operating system and they support consistent low cost. Despite these trends, Mr. DIY also faces important internal weaknesses. The most critical weakness is the thin profit margin. Because the company competes mainly on price, it has very little buffer to observe sudden cost increase in wages, rent, or logistic. To make our internal analysis more strategic and focused, we use IFAS table, which stands for Internal Factor Analysis Summary. Looking at our IFAS table, the highest rated strengths are strong cost leadership model with a weighted score of 0.64. The total IFAS score for Mr. DIYs is 3.02. A score above 2.5 indicates the company has a strong internal position. This means Mr. DIY is doing well internally, especially in cost control and operation.
Planning the sales cost is a crucial stage in H&M B2B sale process because it connects prospect qualification to the actual sales discussion. In the fashion industry, B2B sales costs are not mainly about immediate purchases, but about building long-term strategic partnerships. Therefore, every sale call must be carefully planned to ensure it aligns with the prospect's business needs, market condition, and H&M global objectives. After identifying qualified prospects, H&M schedules sales calls by first identifying key decision makers, such as senior management or directors. Depending on the situations, meetings can be conducted virtually for early discussion or internationally, while face-to-face meetings are preferred for high potential partners. Sales calls are also aligned with the fashion calendar to allow time for planning and negotiations. Before the meeting, the team prepares a clear agenda, customized sales materials using the FAB approach, and coordinates internally with departments such as supply chain, sustainability, and legal teams. During the sales call, H&M focused on building rapport and trust, which is essential in the fashion industry. The sales representative identifies the prospect's needs through open-ended questions and active listening. H&M then presents its B2B offering in a consultative manner, highlighting strengths such as its global supply chain, brand recognition, and sustainability practices. The call ends by confirming follow-up actions to ensure continuity. Overall, effective sales call planning improves efficiency, support H&M global expansion, and help build long-term business relationships.
For our strategy, we look at three paths. First, moving into Bangladesh to avoid crowded Malaysian market. Second, buying a 49% stake in KKV to attract Gen Z shoppers. And third, using logistics automation to handle the 1,700 ringgit minimum wage hike. Our chosen strategy is the integrated multi-brand powerhouse. This is a hybrid approach. We're not just opening more stores, but we are becoming a smarter retailer. The logic is clear, which we need the new revenue from KKV and Bangladesh, but we also need warehouse automation to keep our costs low. This allows us to protect our profits while keeping our always low prices promised to customers. We also will measure our success by targeting a 5 to 10% drop in logistic costs. If we don't meet these goals, our control mechanism will kick in, which it will triggering a full review of our digital systems and vendor contracts to ensure we stay aligned with our corporate objectives.
This slide explains how Mr. DIY translates its recommended strategy into action. The focus is on reinforced cost leadership by aligning organizational structure, resources, system, and people. A strategy execute committee is proposed to coordinate across operation, digital, sustainability, and human resources, ensuring strong execution, discipline, and margin protection across the store network. On the ground, implementation focuses on 3 points, which is the first one is digital systems such as forecasting, inventory, dashboard, and click and collect, improve productivity and availability. The second one is resources are allocated selectively to high impact stores and efficiency driven sustainability upgrades. The third one is people are trained to ensure consistency operation and ethical compliance. So these initiatives are rolled out in phases starting with pilot, followed by scaling and refinement to reduce risk and ensure long-term impact.
Next, I will explain Mr. DIY evaluation and control framework. In a fast-moving retail environment, strategy can be fixed. Mr. DIY, with its low-margin, high-volume model, needs strong monitoring to prevent strategic drift and protect profitability. The framework focuses on tracking performance, detecting issues early, and supporting continuous improvement. Using a balanced scorecard approach, Mr. DIY monitors financial profit margin costs, revenue growth ROA, operations inventory turnover, stock out, sales per square foot, shrinkage, digital and omni-channel click and collect, online to online conversation, digital growth, ESG, energy usage was waste reduction, supply compliance, employee turnover. Performance is reviewed quarterly by management with corrective actions taken when needed, and annual strategic reviews adjust priorities based on external changes. Overall, this system ensures that the strategy remains financially disciplined, operationally consistent, digitally responsive, and ESG aligned, helping Mr. DIY sustain its competitive advantage. That's all. Overall, Mr. DIY remains a strong and resilient retailer in a highly competitive market. Its success is driven by a cost leadership strategy using standardized stores, centralized procurement, efficient logistics, and a wide product range to maintain price competitiveness and customer trust. Performance from 2022 to 2024 shows the strength of this model even under inflation and competition. Looking ahead, Mr. DIY must focus on continuous strategic renewal, stronger omni-channel capabilities, ESG integration, and robust governance to maintain its advantage. With disciplined execution, the group is well positioned to sustain profitability, resilience, and long-term value of stakeholders. That's all. Thank you.